for that, Tim. And now the Bible has the answer. The questions are yours. I go to the Bible, God's holy word, to find answers. And again, thank you for participating in this part of our service. Question number 1 for today. If 98 years of age and in a care home, how can one tithe? I take it you can't get either to a post office or to a bank. Perhaps even you have difficulty writing. Some get a nurse or a family member to help them in that situation, and our thanks goes to everyone who assists us to get funding to keep faith on the air. Perhaps you don't even need a tax receipt because your income is so low. Well, just do what you're able to do. I would remind you that Deuteronomy chapter 14 and verse 22 says that your tithe is on your increase. You can figure that out for yourself. Your tithe is on your increase. And now question number 2 for today. Is it right to use tithe money to help a needy relative? Please talk to your pastor about this. The New Testament church cared for the poor according to 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 16. It talks about the church being charged with the responsibility of caring for their poor. In the Old Testament as well as in the New Testament, the tithes that people gave not only supported the active ministry of the people in the temple or in the synagogue, but also it went toward helping the poor. And so this is a legitimate use of the tithe in Bible days as in our time. And now question number 3. If Jesus is God, why does only the Father know the time of Christ's return? Jesus said, Matthew 24, verse 36, that no man knows the day nor the hour when Christ will come, and that was reserved for the Father to know. How is it that Jesus was God? Well, of course he was God. In the beginning was the Word was with God, the Word was God. Jesus was God, but we learn in Ephesians chapter 2, rather in Philippians chapter 2, we learn that he who was rich became poor, that we through his poverty might be rich. Apparently one of the things that Jesus laid aside in order to come into our world and be our Savior was to know everything, and one of the things he chose not to know was the time of his return. Thank you so much for these good questions. I trust the answers have been a blessing. If you have a question you'd like me to use on The Bible Has the Answer, please write it out, send it to me. I'll be pleased to hear from you. I'll get to your question on the air just as quickly as I can. And when you write, all the address you need is simply Faith to Live By, Box 426, Winnipeg, Manitoba, and the code is R3C2H6. Let's listen now to Heidi and Rick singing a magnificent song, Saved by Grace.